Hey everyone, welcome to my Purest Alchemy channel. My name is Brianna. If you don't know me, this is my channel where we talk about case studies, we talk about patterns, we talk about all things under the sun that encompass the human experience, my observations, all those things alike. Today's Friday, and I was having an issue with my job today, and it really made me realize that I don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I was having an issue signing in, and I'm just at a point where I just don't give a fuck because I don't want to work on the regular 9 to 5 anymore. I feel like it takes up too much of my day, it takes up too much of my time, and it's not worth the pay. So I'm on a mission as of right now to shift my reality into my favor, where I broadcast my gifts, I broadcast my talents, and I see where that takes me. Expectations of what will come, but I know that I have everything to gain. So today, I have a story for you guys. Now, what really prompted this story is the fact that I've been noticing this trend on social media where it talks about this woman posted a video and her talking about how she was the jealous one in her friendship. And then that caused a whole discord on the net where people were talking about how it's not okay to be jealous of your friend, and it's a spirit attached to that, and it's not okay to just be jealous in general. It's not okay to be in a state of jealousy. So I sat there and reflected. I had my own piece of that because I've dealt with that in my life. I've experienced feelings of jealousy in my life, but I never hurt anybody with it, or at least I never tried to. I'm very self-reflective though. So at the same time, if I ever have projected that jealousy, I also have sat there and reflected on it and have taken accountability for my actions, just because of the simple fact that I feel like growing and understanding your emotions allows you to transmute them. You're not supposed to sit in jealousy. Sitting in jealousy leads to envy, and that leads you to doing very, very nasty things towards people, even people that may come into your life to mirror your strengths or mirror what you can do in your life. So that's why I think that jealousy is something that needs to be deconstructed. It needs to be talked about. So the title of this video is called Envy and Jealousy is a Dis-ease. Okay. So I'm gonna read to you guys what I wrote about it. I've noticed and observed jealousy my whole life, and it's a slow development of a quiet cancer. It's subtle enough to befriend you and loud enough to knock you off your tracks. Discernment allows you to know the difference, even if it's hard to believe. Recently, I was able to piece together a pattern of how jealousy develops into envy when left untreated. When I was moving to Florida, I was like about 12 or 13 years old. I stayed with a family member, and let's call this family member Angela. One time, all of our cousins were planning to have an outing. Since I was young, I had no money, and I said it. So one of my cousins called me a broke ass bitch. Okay, but interjection, I was 14 years old. And so I told my mom because I was hurt about it. My mom confronted Angela about my cousin's behavior, and Angela got defensive and felt disrespected at my mom defending me. So she kicked us out of her home, knowing we had nowhere to go. But my mom adapted, and we got a place in a matter of 2 days. Eventually, Angela and my mom made up, and Angela came to our new place with her kids and looked at the upgrade my mom quickly made and said, "Wow, your place is better than mine." Keep that in mind, note that. Fast forward to a very unstable period in my life. I was staying with Angela around this time, and my mom was going through a lot. So when she faced a vulnerable situation, her door was left open, and Angela decided it would be okay to take a lot of my mom's belongings in her home for her and her family members. So she stole from her. I knew it wasn't right, and I spoke up. I said, "This is wrong." She said, "Wrong? You're just taking her side." Now keep that in mind too. Jealousy shows itself in subtle ways, and if left unchecked, it becomes envy. Envy displays itself through stealing from a person at their most vulnerable because you feel like they shouldn't have it. It's a slow and incremental build of jabs that knock you out when you least expect it. This is why when you see subtle comparison, take note of it. Because if a person does not self-reflect, you become the bane of their existence through simply existing. I was very inspired to write this story because things work in patterns in life, right? This is the teachings of the Fibonacci sequence. This was also founded by the mathematician Leonardo Pisano, sorry, from the above. Leonardo Pisano, who founded the universe, or just the earth, it works in a series of patterns. So the Fibonacci sequence, it's a spiral, but you could find this sequence in each part of nature, right? And so I started viewing life in this way when I figured it out. Like when I found out about it, I started really reflecting on certain things that build incrementally. So this was one of the things that came to my mind. So remember how I said when she came to the house and she was like, wow, this place is better than mine. You know, jealousy works in subtle comparisons where there are people who may show their jealousy through feeling like they can't have what you have. They can't do what you do. So they project that feeling onto you, and it's subtle digs where it works in a way where they know that you are able to do things and you don't think about it. You just do it. And that causes people to become very resentful of what they feel they can do. So you become a mirror to their shortcomings. But it doesn't mean that they can't act on that. See, I feel like if emotional intelligence was taught in school, people would be able to learn how to transmute jealousy, how to transmute envy, because that person that you are jealous of is allowing you to see that, hey, this is possible for you. This is my way of understanding the world around me. But this is how I've seen that when you don't remove yourself from people who are already showing jealousy, it causes you to become a target within yourself. There are so many different ways where people will show their jealousy, or they're trying to one up you, or they're trying to be like you in subtle ways. Now, I used to think that, oh, like it's okay to want to be like somebody. But the thing is, it becomes dangerous when that person does not have a mind of their own. When they can't think for themselves and they're looking to you, or they're looking at you and what you're doing with yourself, and they become intimidated by that, or they feel small by that. And at the end of the day, it's not your job to shrink yourself because of how somebody is acting. Me personally, when Angela said that about our plays, I clocked that immediately. Even as a kid, I was very perceptive, and I peeped people's body language, and I peeped they little digs. Like I was able to see it because I used to spend a lot of time just looking around me and like understanding things, even if I didn't have the language for it. I clocked that immediately. And I used to just feel like, why are you around her? Like I used to feel like that because I used to see the jealousy. And there were other things too. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? But when she had said, you're taking her side, that's when I knew that she was in subtle competition with my mother. And that took that with me everywhere I go in life, because now I'm able to clock people as soon as I see a little bit of comparison. A comparison is the thief of joy. If you are not comfortable within your own space, if you are not confident in the gifts that you have and the fact that you are here, you are God personified. You know, you can create. But you have to let go of the resistance. You have to let go of the limiting beliefs, because if you don't, and if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't become the best version of yourself, you're going to fall victim or become this perpetrator of somebody who's looking at whatever other people are doing in life and thinking, damn, I wish that could be me, when that could be you. You're getting a signal about it. But are you listening to that signal? Are you willing to sit with the discomfort of looking at what somebody else got and then feeling like, I wish I had that? That is a form of inspiration. Through our shadow periods in life where we're experiencing feelings of of sadness, of depression, and all of that, so we could understand what works and what doesn't. This is why I fully believe that when you take yourself out of the equation of being around somebody who is jealous, you take the opportunity to let them sit with their own emotions. But 9 times out of 10, the thing with jealousy is that it's such an ugly emotion. Like, it's so ugly, it feels nasty, that most people don't want to sit with that. What they'll do is they'll find somebody else to project it on. And they'll find another person to act like that person is trying to one-up them. That person is trying to be better. No, what if that person is just better and you need to boss your life up? Have you thought about that one? Moment in my life, Angela wasn't being empathetic towards my mother when she just had made such a huge move, and somebody was demeaning her child. So she decided to step in. And for Angela to go out of her way to say, you need to leave my house. Imagine that. You know, you would think to yourself, a person would have, especially a family member, would have more empathy, would have more grace for a person, and would also check the little girl that went out of her way to call me a broke ass bitch. Like, the nerve of you. I'm only 14 years old. Like, bitch, who do you think you are? You think you the creme de la creme that got all the money in the world? Bitch, I didn't think that you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Thank you. So anyway, I feel like she could have taken the time out to understand it's okay. I'm not going to kick my cousin out, whatever, because most times you will be put in situations where you need help and you need vulnerability and you need like grace so people can show their hearts. And when they show their hearts, it raises your discernment if you're willing to take the lesson for what it is. Most times, if you're not willing to take the lesson for what it is, you keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it over and over again until you realize that you're not allowing yourself to grow beyond these patterns. When people kick you when you're down and find a way to torment you when you're vulnerable, figure things out by yourself when they know that you need the help, it really forces you to stand on your own 2 feet. And it really shows you of your strength. So when she came to our home and she was like, wow, this place is better than mine. My mom would like buy couches, and then my cousin Angela would go out of her way to buy the same type of couch just in a different color. My mom was very much so the type of person who had her own mind. She had her own mind. She had her own style. She's fly. Like, she's very much so fly. She know how to put things together. That's one thing I'm always going to give my mom. Like, if you guys see me and you guys see me fly, you guys see me pretty, you guys see me like on my shit, just know I got it from my mother. Like, yeah, she's the original, the OG, yeah. I'm always going to talk her up. I'm always going to hype her up because my mom just do shit that I just be like, wow. Like, I'm so grateful for you to be my mom. My mom is the type of person, like, she would just buy her own things, especially when we lived in New York, but it would happen like all throughout all her life, like copying her, you know, and she would notice it. I remember growing up and hearing her talk about it, like she would notice it, but she wouldn't ever like internalize it as, I need to be mindful of this person, or I'm just a trendsetter. She would just feel like they copying because they inspired, you know, or like a thing that rolls off. But there's a difference between somebody copying you because they want to be like you, and there's a difference between somebody being inspired by you. It's so important to know the difference because it's a very fine line. It's a very fine line. And I think we all, as humans, we all inspire each other, but I think that capitalism has put people in a state of, especially in our days, like there's always an incentive behind keeping up with the Joneses, you know, and I feel like in our generation, it's that much more apparent because of the simple fact that so many people are looking at what other people got. They could see it. They're only seeing the good parts. You guys don't know what anybody did to get to the point that they're at. And that's one thing my mom always raised me on. Like, you never know what somebody did to get to wherever they're at. So they're only showing you the good parts. And that always stuck with me, and that always allowed me to really name my feelings out loud, but also like self-reflect on if I'm feeling, you know, jealousy, or if I'm feeling like, I don't be feeling envy though, because I don't want what nobody else got. I just don't. But You know, like I'm able to self-reflect, but that's why I'm not like ashamed of the conversation. I think that the conversation needs to come up so people can understand that we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, but it's what matters is how you show up in that emotion. If you're showing up with that emotion and you're projecting it onto another person that does not deserve it, you are lost in the sauce, for real. And that's something that you have to atone yourself for. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. My mom never really got an apology for people stealing her shit. And I think that that's what she deserved. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I noticed that when the Envy came out, it was huge. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't something that you could just ride by. It's something that completely diminishes the relationship, and it crumbles the relationship from the inside out. So my mom was already going through something vulnerable, and then somebody comes in and they decide, I'm going to steal her shit. Think about how the pattern shows up in small ways, and then it turns into a big slap in the face, a big knock on your ass. In other ways, if you're not willing to check a person or get from around them, then I feel like the universe gives you warning signs, you know. But if you override those warning signs because you want to believe, you know, belief is one of the most powerful things in the world. I think it supersedes truth. But there are universal truths, I feel. Belief is that much more powerful than truth. So if you believe that nobody is jealous of you and you don't have any reason to pay attention to how people treat you, understand that it escalates. It escalates in very subtle ways. I have dealt with this in my life with friends that I've had, where I've experienced very deep betrayals because I wanted to believe that the person had a good energy towards me. I used to be like, what did she mean by that? I really used to sit and ponder, and it's like, maybe I'm tripping. And then that person betrayed me. So that's how, and it would come out in a very, very malicious way. And it's because most times, like, people are focusing on you. And that's the thing about jealousy. You know, you're not allowing yourself to grow past your own like fleshly desires. So you're looking at another person and what they have and what you wish you had, that you're not looking at yourself. You know, and that's the thing. When you are projecting certain things onto people, you are projecting your own perception onto them. So it's very, very much so something about self-reflection and emotional intelligence that needs to be understood when it comes down to jealousy. It's like that shit could really drive, because people are not self-aware, it could really drive people to do nasty things towards people that don't deserve it. But that's the thing about getting warning signs from God, from the universe, what have you, what you believe in, your internal intuition. Like, that's the thing about it. You get intuitive hits, and then you're hit with pain because you did not listen. You got to be able to trust what you see, even if it's not what you like. We're not always going to like what we see, but it's important for us to pay attention, right? Envy is nasty because it begets shame. You know, it causes you to do things that are unnatural for your existence. But there are some people, I feel like, because they feel guilt-ridden and they feel guilty, they don't want to face that. There's so many things that encompass envious attacks, and a lot of it has everything to do with a person not feeling good about themselves. They don't understand what they have. They don't understand what they can offer the world. They have a lack mentality, a scarcity mentality. So if anybody could go out of their way to steal from you, let me just say this. If anybody could go out of their way to steal from you when you are already in a vulnerable position, when you can't defend yourself in a way that you need to be defended, when you can't defend yourself and you can't say like, I have a right or whatever, then that begets the question of how powerful really are you? If people are going to go and sneak behind your back and do all types of little bullshit to make you feel like, oh, you don't deserve to have that, you know, and while you're down, I'm going to kick you when you're down. If people could do that, it's because they think that that is going to allow you to cower and kill yourself and oh, you feel me, and feel as low as they feel. Then how powerful really are you? That's what needs to be fucking asked. That made me know, like, yeah, we around some weak ass bitches, bird. Like, we around some weak ass bitches. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that to your family. You don't do that to your friends. You have to be a person that people can rely on when they're not in the best position, like, for their life, you know? And if you are the type of person that has gone out of your way to take from people when they're not in the best, like, in the best position, that's because you feel low already. And I'm sorry that you feel about that way about yourself, but you need to fix that. You need to take a look in the mirror and realize that you have your own work to do within yourself. And taking from other people is not going to fill that fucking void that you have within yourself. Actually, it's going to sink you deeper as to why you act this way. But a lot of people, that's when they become, not even become, they just display these narcissistic traits because of the simple fact that they can't face themselves. Whatever the fuck they've been through in their life causes their brain to shrink. So that's why I think that it's very, very important to understand that it comes out in very subtle ways. And if you're not paying attention and you're not checking the fine print, it allows you to become a victim to people's fucked up projections. And you don't want to live your life like that. Me personally, whenever somebody starts showing a jealousy, whenever somebody starts showing a little bit of comparison, oh, I wish I could do that, I wish this, I wish that, I don't have it like you, girl, get the fuck from around me. I don't even, girl, you need, like, because I'm the type of person I could see the gifts that people have. That's something that I was blessed with. I can see the gifts that people have. I can see, ooh, you good at singing. Ooh, you good at making stuff. Ooh, you have a natural knack for being in the camera. Ooh, you gonna make it big when you drop that music. Ooh, you can dance. Ooh, I can see the gifts that people have, and I can see when they don't see that within their own self. Why? Because I've been there. I've lived life in a way where I've done things naturally. I dance, I sing, I speak, whatever. And I do this in a way where it comes out naturally. And I have dealt with people in my life throughout all my life, usually strangers or whatever, them telling me like, yo, you have a gift for this. Yo, you need to do this. Yo, get back on YouTube. Yo, do this. Yo, do that. So I didn't see it for myself at the time. Like, yeah, I saw it, but did I believe in myself enough? No. So it would cause me to feel like, damn, I don't have this, I don't have that, and I need to get that so I could do this, and I need, but no, sometimes the simplest way is the better, and you learn as you go along. But I would sit there and see the gifts that they have. I see, yo, you could really embark on this and really make it big if you believe it. Like, but if you don't believe that within yourself, it causes you to feel like everybody's surpassing you, everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that. But because you don't focus on what you have and what God has granted you, having that childlike faith to know that you are not here in vain, you literally will sit there and do shit to people that don't deserve it. It's really fucking lame. Like, I really sat here. I mean, I'm not like being judgmental, but like I really had to sit here and really think about how that shit was a testimony for me in noticing when people are afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to take a chance on themselves. They're afraid to expand their palette. So they gonna take the next person's shit, or they gonna go out their way to kick the next person when they down. You feel me? Like, instead of being inspired and allowing yourself to see that you're having a visceral reaction to somebody else in the room. Why? You got to ask yourself why. It doesn't matter what that person is doing. You have to ask yourself why you're having a visceral reaction to somebody in your body. It's not always about that person. You're getting information. Information is coming up, and if that information feels nasty, you need to remove yourself from the equation. You need to sit with yourself and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Without focusing on that person, because if you continuously focus on that person, you're gonna think that person is bringing it out. That person is bringing it out, you know. And then there are times where people do bring it out. But what if a person is just existing and you're having a visceral, nasty reaction to it? Then what? Then it's you. It's you. That person is literally just existing. And you're going out of your way to try to make it seem like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. And I need to one up that person, because if I don't, then that person, it's like you really run yourself into a muck trying to like compete with other people. You should be competing with your own fucking self. Word. I've gotten to the point where I'm talking about these things because these are patterns that I've noticed in my life, and I feel like I can name these things, then I could allow other people, this will allow other people to name other things that they see in their life with people that they're surrounded by, that doesn't allow them to believe otherwise. It's not always the fact that people are jealous of you. You know, that's not always a thing. Sometimes other people are going through their own shit. Most times, when a person feels jealousy, when a person feels envy, it's because they have to sit with themselves. That's all it is. That's all it is. They have to go on their own journey and develop their own identity. That's what it comes down to. And you can't get in the way of that. It doesn't matter how nice you are to them. It doesn't matter how sweet you are to them. Actually, that'll make them resent you even more. Trust me when I say that shit will make them resent you even more, because they're going to feel like, bro, she's so nice to me. Why the fuck is she so nice to me? Like, she being so nice to me. There's not many people that will go out of their way to be like, damn, she's so nice to me, but why do I feel this way in my body? Why am I feeling like irritable? Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Like, you know, like they won't get to the root of where they're experiencing these emotions from, which is so important. You got to get to the feelings. Feelings buried alive never die. And you got to be able to transmute them. Thank that person for coming into your life, to showing you what your greatness is, because that, like, jealousy is one of those feelings. Like, if you can understand what jealousy is trying to tell you, you can have that too. So look at what this person is doing in terms of how they carry themselves, how they've been able to do it. And how is it? They just fucking do it. There's no other, you feel me? Like, humans get into this, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, they just fucking do it. There's no other way around that shit. You cannot cut corners with your greatness. I cannot, I kid you not. You cannot cut corners with your greatness. It doesn't matter what the next person is doing. They're already doing it. You need to do it. That's why you feel the way that you do. Word too. Like, I promise you. Like, I would not fucking lie. So, yeah. So, jealousy is a disease, bitch. Get well soon. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to watch. I hope that I made sense throughout all of this, because I know that I've been everywhere. I have some fruit here, some coffee that I had earlier. Delicious. It's a little sour. Like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from, and I hope that I've explained this in a way that lands, that makes sense. And if you are experiencing feelings towards your friends, towards your family, towards whoever, feelings of jealousy, take a look in the mirror. Understand that you did not come here in vain. Like I said before, you have your own unique gifts, and you don't need to be looking at somebody else's plate, because you already got a full one. Yeah, let's see what happens with this fuck ass job. I don't give a fuck no more. Like, I really don't. You feel me? God has blessed me in many ways, and I plan to bless the world with it. And I love you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you for taking the time out to listen to my story, digest it, take what you can from it, leave what you don't. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video. And I'll probably get deeper into this in another way, but I just wanted to come on here and share the findings that I have created with the patterns that I've been able to uncover. Shout out to my mom. I love you. Purest Alchemy out.